Hello. Today I'm going to show how I changed the back seal, this little piece, on my John Deere 1025R compact tractor. This goes over the back post that comes out of the drivetrain and clearing some brush, and it damaged it and started leaking hydraulic fluid. Now this looks destroyed even more because it was hard to get out. I basically used a screwdriver and picked it out. I don't know if there's a better way, but that's what it looks like. Let me show you the whole setup. So here, that arrow is the direction of travel. This is my drive shaft. This is the rear. That's the front. And so to get this thing off, what you do is, if you look right here, there's this ring that goes on that. You can see that. You have to separate this ring with a specialized tool like that. Kind of just put that over those holes and separate it. And then right here, you have to have a punch set to drive it out. So here's a punch set. Take one of these things, and all that's in there is this curled up little piece of metal. It's quite amazing. And so this slides on the post on the front, so that's what that looks like. It's got teeth. It goes into the front axle and spins the front axle. So you put this thing on, you slide it over the back to put it on, and slide that forward until this hole, and we'll get under the tractor and you'll see. I just wanted to do this out here in the daylight. And then you drive that back in there to put it in place, and put that over it to hold it in place. At least I think that's why it's there, to hold the pin in place. Little disclaimer, I'm not a mechanic, so take this information for what it's worth. So let's get under the tractor and I'll show you. Before I get, number one mistake I made is to get this thing out. You have to position this shaft so that this is vertical. That way I can get under and pound that thing straight up. Otherwise, if this thing, which it was like this, there wasn't enough room on either side for me to pound that thing out. Now the problem is I put my tractor up. Well, let's go over to the tractor and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's how I have the tractor to work on it. I drive it up on ramps on the back, and then I push the bucket down on the ground to lift up the front and throw some blocks under it. So this works great, but the mistake I made was I put it up as you see it. I drained the hydraulic fluid because when I take out that seal, it would have leaked all over the place even more. But the problem is the axle wasn't positioned so that I could hammer out that pin that we were just looking at. So the bottom line, before you empty your fluid or do anything, all you gotta do is roll your tractor forward or back just a few inches. You may have to like roll forward, get under and look, roll backwards, whatever, until you get that pin placed just the way you want it. So now let's get underneath and show you what I'm dealing with. Okay, so now we're looking at the front, and here's the post that I was talking about that sticks out the front, and that drives the front wheels. If we move around here, we see right, I don't know how big, there. You see the hole that goes all the way through that, and that's what the pin goes through and holds the drive shaft in place. Now let's look at the back. Okay, so just to orient yourself, what you're looking at is the upper right is the hydraulic fuel filter. Hydraulic fluid filter. This over here I don't use. I assume it drives a PTO for a cutter underneath. I don't have that. And this is the back post coming out of the drivetrain. There is no hole in this. There's only a pin on the front, so the shaft is held in place by that one pin on the front. And the seal that was replaced is back in there. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can give you a better view. There you go. The one thing I had to do to get it in place, and you just slide it over there, and then I did this. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I put that pipe on there and just tap lightly on the end to push it back. If you can see, it's kind of set back in, maybe 1/4 of an inch. It's in there real good now. So let me get it back together, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, before I put the drive shaft on, I thought I'd show one more thing. Like I said, the seal is already in place, but it's hard to see under here, so I wanted to have a little bit of better visual. So here's the old seal I took off. Just to drive the point home, here's how you install it. You simply put it right over there, slide it back in place. Now you can try to push it in, but as soon as you push the bottom, the top pops out. Push the top, the bottom pops out, and so on. And that's why I use the pipe to, you know, go over the end and tap it in. Okay, let me take this off. Now let's put the drive shaft back in place. Okay, here I am trying to get this pin up in there, and it's not going. If you can see, this pin is really just a rolled up piece of metal, and I think when I took it out, this is the second time, I don't know, maybe it's uncoiled too much. So I'm gonna take it out and see if I can figure something out. Okay, I think I figured it out. So if you look here, this punch can go all the way up in there. Let me show you from the side, which is what I want. So I should be able to get the pin in now. I could not do this before, and what I did was, you have to take this and spin it 100, this axle right here, and spin it around. It doesn't matter, clockwise or counterclockwise, 180 degrees, just 1/2 turn. It apparently, the way it aligns on the teeth, that it only goes one way. So I didn't account for that. So I'm gonna try to put the pin in. Hopefully this will work. All right, well, that was it. Here you can see the pin made its way in. It was really snug, but it's in there. Next, I'm gonna take this ring right here and put it in that groove so that it holds that pin in, and that'll be it. One last thing is this cover I have here. What it had before factory was a rubber boot, but it kept tearing off. I replaced maybe 2 of them. This actually works really well. It's stiff. I didn't think it would work because I thought it came with something flexible, but I put this stiff. This is actually just the end of a leaf blower. So, all right. I want to get the ring on. I'll show you the final one, and that'll be it. All right. That was a lot easier than I remember it. But here you can see the ring. I just expanded it out and slid it over, and it's in that groove right now. And that'll be it. I hope that helps someone.